Hi, friends. At the request of some of my friends, I am doing a surprise reading sprint today. So, if you guys are able to join, we're going to get some reading sprints done to start the weekend off right. And we'll wait for some people to jump on here. And while we do that, I'm going to talk about what I'm going to read. So, the end of the month, and I've really finished most of the books that I wanted to read for this month. So I'm starting some of the books for next month. I have quite a TBR. This is my September TBR. All of them are buddy reads. So the book that I am starting today is the Drawing of the Three, which is the second book in the Dark Tower series. I'm reading this series with Steve Talks About Books and Stuff and some other friends. And I had some mixed feelings about Gunslinger, but I'm really excited about this one. Most of the people that I know who have read the whole series say that this book really is much different than the Gunslinger. The whole series is much different. And some people say this is even their favorite of the whole series. So I'm really excited to start this. What are you guys planning on reading today? I'm really excited for this live reading sprint. We did one last weekend, or was it two? Yeah, it was last weekend for our 24-hour readathon, and it was a lot of fun. And so Raul asked me to do another reading sprint because he says he's bored. So maybe there's other people out there that also are bored and want some reading done. It looks like we have some people already here in the comments. Hi, you guys. It's so awesome to see you. If you want to join Lana on the screen, just let me know. I can send you guys the link. This is kind of like I said, a very surprise reading sprint. It was not planned, but I thought it'd be a lot of fun anyway. We've got Daniel here. I have had a really tough August as well. I think I did finally read 3 books, but I was in the middle of 5 books at one point and not making any progress on any of them. I just wasn't like in the mood for anything that I picked up. I'd pick up something thinking I was excited about it, and then I'd put it down. I just have not really been in the mood for reading this month, but I have such a great TBR for September. I'm thinking it's going to be a good month. Bookish Drummer. Well, hello. This is my first time with Dark Tower. So I know most of the people that are doing the read along, other than myself and Steve and his wife, Brandy, have already read it. So this is their second, or in some cases, their third or fourth time going through it. So this is my first time, but I'm excited. And here, Raul's the reason why we're here today. You could blame him. Andrew, you want to join me? There's plenty of space here on the screen. Let me know. Hey, Melissa. I cannot wait to watch your Twilight video. I don't know if it's already been posted, but I did see something on Twitter because I'm curious what you thought. So that is going to be a fun video. If you guys haven't already watched it, or if it's not up yet, go check out Raul's channel and see what he thinks of Twilight. I know there's a lot of people who don't like it, some people who still stand by it as being a good series. I'm curious where you stand, Raul. All right. How do you want me to send the, you know what? I trust you guys. I'm just going to send the link here. If any weirdos come on, I'll just boot them. Let's see. Bookish Drummer. It's common to have mixed feelings about book 1, but book, I'm guessing 2 is where it gets good for a lot of people. I really hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I honestly haven't even read a single page. I don't even know what this one's about. I've kind of let the whole Dark Tower series stay going into it completely blind. And the people that were in our live stream for Gunslinger last weekend were really good about not spoiling anything. So They were very closed lip. If you haven't watched that discussion, it was a lot of fun. And you could see like when we would make, ask questions about what was happening in Gunslinger, they were sitting there with trying to keep poker faces, but it wasn't working. We could tell there was more to the story. So I'm really excited to see where it goes. So Rahul's Twilight video comes out tomorrow. So you guys, I'm gonna check it out because I've got to know where he stands on Twilight. That's gonna be hilarious. Lana,
Hi.
thanks for jumping on.
That's all right.
This is gonna be fun. What are you reading today?
I'm starting, should I say. Crown of Feathers.
I haven't read that. You excited?
I am. It's a buddy read with Vicious Discord, and I only just got it recently. It only just came in the mail, so I'm excited to start it.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at that.
I love the color.
I love it when the covers underneath the dust jacket are actually colored and not just black or gray or something. So it's always pretty to see.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, so why don't we go ahead and actually do what we all came here to do and get some reading done. So we'll start with a 20-minute sprint here and see how that goes. So give me a second to get the timer up. Oh, come on. There we go. So, at that. So we'll start. Is it sharing? I can't tell if it's sharing. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and start with a 20-minute reading sprint. So y'all get your books out and get ready because we are starting right now. Oh, now. Time's up. I got, let's see. Well, it's hard to tell because there's like a section that has like a summary of the last book, but I'm on page 14. How'd you do?
I got up to page 11, so just
Nice.
over a chapter.
You enjoying it so far?
Yes, they just hatched a phoenix, which is cool.
JB's here. Hi, JB. What are you? Oh, he's reading Dune. Awesome. I am planning to reread Dune this month. Raul, it's part of Raul's Howdy Partner book club for September. Have you read it, Lana?
No, I got it this month though, and I did want to read it this month, but the whole family's just been sick and I've just done no reading.
Yeah. It's been one of those months for me. I have no excuse though. At least you have an excuse. Ashley's here.
Hey, Ashley.
JB got 7 pages. Daniel, what are you reading? You read 3 pages of something. Watching Ryan. I don't know what that is. Should I know what Ryan Bergera and Shane are? I don't know. Is that a YouTube channel, Ashley, or famous people somewhere? I don't know. So I will say the Drawing of the Three, it starts with a bang. Like there's no easing into it. It's just boom. So it was really good. It was a bit difficult to stop. When I saw the timer going down, I was like, I can get one more paragraph in. I only got to read 10 because I went to the store. What snacks did you get, Raul? Anything good? Oh, they are from BuzzFeed, the Ghost guys.
Ooh.
Oh. I have not seen that. Are they like ghost hunters? That sounds interesting.
Yeah. I think that's where my mind went too. That's pretty cool.
I used to watch Ghost Hunters International, Ghost Hunters and then Ghost Hunters International, and I know that a lot of it was fake, but it was still entertaining. I liked it. I am terrified of ghosts. I think they're real, and I don't like them. So to watch shows where they are debunking a lot of things, it's like made me feel a little bit better. And then when there was a ghost, I can always say it was fake.
Yeah.
So either way, I felt good.
My culture is really spiritual, so I grew up just sort of being told just to ignore it. It's real, so just ignore it. I was like, okay, but so I'm like, yeah, or I've never seen a ghost that I know of, so I just but I follow all of the superstitious things to do to rid yourself of that sort of stuff, because no thank you, I'll just keep it in my books and my movies, thanks.
Yeah, I'm okay with fake ghosts.
Yeah.
You're reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Daniel? Can't sag because it's gonna be part of a book. Oh, you can't say. Okay.
I'll say, yeah.
Oh my God, Unsolved. Is that the name of the show? I'm sorry if I'm getting behind on these comments, y'all. Got some chips pop. Perfect. Great snacks for reading sprint. Great job. Except for the depends what kind of chips you got, because greasy fingers. Oof. I don't know if I want to know that story, Al.
Where? And how? And how do you know? And I have so many questions.
You'd have to join us on screen and tell us about it. So those guys, they do a bunch of stuff, but they have a Halloween type series in October. They've got a variety of series out from Haunted Places, History Show. That sounds interesting. I'll have to check that
sounds
out.
really cool. I feel like we miss out on a lot of good TV over here.
My boss, sorry, even though she didn't see it on camera, she said we looked really scared. Oh gosh. See, I'd have to quit. I couldn't work there. No.
I'm just so intrigued by this now. I want to know more.
I know. They wanted some Jack. Okay, let them be. Jack, is that... Where do you work, Raul? Is that something to do with your job? So, I don't... Lana wants to know more, but I'm just going to close my eyes and my ears, and you guys could tell her. I don't know. Like, I've had so many recommendations for like great haunted house stories and things like that. And so I tried one. I think it was Michael Clark's.
Patience of a Dead Man?
Yes. And I got maybe 15 pages in, and it wasn't even a ghost thing yet, but it was like leading to this, mysterious woman like roaming around the farm, and he's going out to do something, and what's going to happen, or at least I thought. And I was like, I just can't. I have to stop. I can't.
I started reading the ebook of it, and I'm about that far in as well. And then I just ordered the binder. So I'm going to wait, because like horror for me, I don't get as much enjoyment if I'm reading it like by ebook. I like turning the pages with horror. I don't know what it is. It's the only genre that I'm like, I need to read this in physical form.
That's interesting. I honestly, whether it's an ebook or physical book depends on my mood. Like if I'm in a slump, a physical book is more likely to get me out of the slump because of the feeling of turning the pages. But if I'm reading a lot of books in 1 month, I prefer ebook because I could switch between them wherever I'm at, if I'm in the mood. I'm weird. I'm a weird reader. Oh, so Rahul works at Jack in the Box. So the ghost was there to get himself a burger and curly fries.
He's like, I'm hungry.
I'll do a video and post it on Twitter.
Yes, please.
Yes. Yeah. But you don't tag me in that, because I don't want to see it. I'll be too tempted to watch it.
Tag me.
The only time I've been to a Jack in the Box, I had taken my nighttime. Oh, okay. I like Jack in the Box. Nobody else, likes it except me. And so when I get it, it's got to be like in the middle of the night when I, want some really greasy, crappy tacos. I don't know if you're familiar with what Jack in the Box is, Lana, but I'm not going to say it's the worst of the fast foods, but there's nothing that good for you.
Taco Bell. I've had Taco Bell when I went to the States, and I was not a fan. Did not like it.
Oh, JB says here, audiobooks have helped him with slumps. Do you listen to audiobooks? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading a romance one at the moment, which I don't usually. I prefer to read romance usually, but we have a discussion on it tomorrow, so I'm like, crap, I need to read that.
I like audiobooks, especially for my commute, but it has to be something. I shouldn't say this. I like to listen to audiobooks and read at the same time, so I guess what they call immersion reading. But on my commute, I can't read and listen. So when I'm listening, it has to be something that's very like lowbrow. I don't even know if that's the right term, but something I don't have to pay a whole lot of attention to, and I can still get the gist. And most of the time, romances kind of fit that category really well.
Yeah. I do, like, if I'm doing a commute like that, Chetty says hi. I do like, that's when I listen to like autobiographies and memoirs and stuff.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Yeah. That's a good
Mhm.
idea. So Ashley turns into a Karen when she takes her nighttime gummies. What's this? Was a
What's the
sleep
difference
and
between a
meditation.
small cup and a kitty cup?
Well, honestly, I don't know. So, well, at Jack in the Box, their large is huge. So their small is like a regular size. So I imagine the kitty cup is probably like an 8 ounce and the small is like a 16 ounce. So I guess at Jack in the Box, yeah, there would be a difference. Oh, she says here there's no difference. So yeah, she's just being a Karen.
Actually, I can't imagine you being a Karen. I honestly
I can't
can't.
either. Oh, so I guess Daniel here is talking about his ghost experience. Wait, we get back here. Where is it? One time it was 2 a.m. in the morning and I heard a weird noise. I went to investigate because I'm not smart. I will never have a rocking chair in my house because of this kind of thing. He says it sounded like a rocking chair. Spoiler alert, they don't own a rocking chair.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Uh-uh.
Okay, actually, I have had like one scary encounter. And that was when Ikea, my oldest, was about 6 months. We just went shopping, came home, like dropped all the groceries on the floor because I really needed to go to the loo. So I put her on her back under her little like plaything. Um, and then quickly went, like I could like kind of see her feet, like if I leaned over. And then she was just like talking to herself with her goo goo and gagas. And then she went like everything just went really, really quiet. And then it sounded like a distorted record going backwards. It sounded like that. And then she started screaming. And so like I like midstream was like pulling up my pants, like trying to get to her. And I was like, what the heck? And I didn't get any weird vibes or anything, but I heard that. And then she started screaming. And then I was just like, okay. And then I grabbed her and we went to my mom's house for a couple of nights. I was like, mm-mm-mm. And then as soon as we could, we moved.
Good.
I was like,
No, thank you.
But that was the only time that happened. But I said to my partner at the time, I was like, I want to get out of here.
I'm lucky to say I haven't really had any weird ghost experiences. But, I don't have any wood around here, so knock on something that it doesn't happen. I'd move. Thank you. I grew up in the country. My dad used to tell ghost stories. I bet.
We have so many in my family. It's ridiculous. Like I was actually, what was I watching? I think I was watching one of Nikki's streams. And I thought of like a story that my grandmother told me when I was a kid. And I was like, that would actually be a really good horror story. And then from that one, I was just like, well, that'd be a really good horror story too. And they're just like all of these like ghost stories from my family.
You should put together a short story anthology of all those.
Yeah, but you need to know how to write. I can't even speak, let alone write.
I'd find that hard to believe.
Maybe. I'll let you know if it ever happens. You could be one of my beta readers.
You should get a ghostwriter. Get it? Ghostwriter. Sorry, guys. Please don't leave. Oh, I just lost a viewer. Dang it. So Ashley says here, probably the only time in my life except when someone tries to pet my service dog while we're out in public. Oh, I guess this is her only time where she's acted like a Karen. Yeah, the last part, one time he was between my legs and some guy tried to pet him. Yeah. No, dude.
No.
So I am usually very leery of petting service dogs if they're wearing a service vest because most people don't like them to interact with them. So it's always like, especially if they're super cute and you want to pet them, it's like, do I ask or do I just let them go about their business? I'm curious, Ashley, how often do you have to say, no, you can't pet my dog? Is it all the time, or is it just certain times where you're like, nope?
Yeah.
I'm
And I
curious.
don't get why adults, like, because I'm one of those people that are like, it's a service dog, you leave it alone, you don't touch it. So I just let them go about their business, even though I'm like,
Yeah, I know, right?
as I walk past. And like, I understand kids wanting to touch. I think my kids are like very well aware that you don't touch service dogs. But like, I just feel like out of just general politeness, you at least ask.
Right.
There's like it's like someone just random stranger touching your baby. I don't like that either. Don't touch my baby. I don't know you. COVID.
Well, even before COVID, it's like,
Yeah, even before COVID, I'm like, why are you touching my baby?
so JB, I had a friend over to stay the night. He was unpacking. I was, nah, we can do that later. Oh, get some ice cream. We came back an hour later and the bag. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That's a sign right there.
Nope. Yeah, I'd leave too. Sorry, JB. You're not gonna have many guests if you tell that story. So, yes, but I don't. I need the guy playing the drums GIF on here. So like that, I know that wasn't even a good dad joke. 60% of the time, I have to say something unless I got it. Everyone seems I'm just sometimes I don't want to. I'm sure these people constantly get asked, or have people try to pet the dog without asking, and so I'm kind of like, I'll just leave them alone unless they're just so cute I have to, and I'll be like, please let me pet your dog.
Mm-hmm.
I saw one at there's a fabric store where I'm at, and I went in there, and the line was really, really long. We're in line forever, and like 2 or 3 people ahead of us was a lady. She was an older woman with a small dog, and I can't remember. I want to say it was a Yorkie. It was tiny and had a little service vest on. And my son was with me, and he was like, I want to go pet it. And I was like, no, it's a service dog. And then after a while, I was like, man, I could use him as an excuse to go ask. So I was like, my son really wants to pet your dog, but it was me. I wanted to pet the dog. It was so cute. And she was really nice about it, and she was fine with it. But it took a while of us standing in the line for me to finally get enough guts to say, hey. And I totally used my son on there. Like, he wants to do it. It was a cute. I think it was a Yorkie, one of those little tiny, furry, long hair dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But sister had a similar thing happen. She got her wedding dress out, laid it on the bed, came back upstairs, and it was hung back.
Is
Okay.
this in the same place?
How do these things happen? Do you guys just forgetful? That's what it is. You're forgetful. It was all in one house. I lived. See, yeah. There's something in your house that makes you forget.
I needed to leave.
My sister got a candle to take away the bad energy and stuff. So no more problems, Daniel?
Burning sage. Like cleanses.
Yeah. So not do. You guys have too many. Now I'm not going to be able to sleep. I should have done a morning reading sprint. I love how everyone is trying to scare Stacey away. Right?
I'm sorry, I forgot it was nighttime over there. It's like 1 p.m. nearly here. So I'm just like...
I was going to say, you either have really great lighting or you have a window in front of you and it's daytime.
My lighting is the worst always. So natural is the only time I can do anything.
Ashley says I don't cleanse, I just move out.
Fair. That is a valid and sensible course of action.
Right. Yes, JB, please stop. Please. Before I have to can you kick people out of your streams? No more. Okay. So we've we're here 47 minutes. We've done one reading sprint. So it officially is me. I am the problem. Every time I do a reading sprint, we never read. So I now know it's nobody else, it's me.
I think this is just like a thing with everyone, because every time I've ever watched, been on, or like hosted a sprint, this is what happens.
Well, this is part of the fun, right? Is chatting.
Exactly.
And, you know, even if it's things I don't really want to talk about. Mm-hmm. So let's do another 20 minutes and get some reading done here. Let's see. You said the last pages you read, there was a phoenix was in the first section of it already. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I've always wanted. I think I have that book on Kindle. I have to check, but it looks the cover is what it was, one of those cover by kind of things. All right, let me pull this up. Another 20 minutes sound good?
Live streams are always chaotic, and I agree.
All right, another 20 minutes, and we're going to start now. Time's up. So I got a little over 15 pages.
I got 11 pages again.
Perfect. Making good time. Everybody else, how did you do on that one? I have to say, I told you I had mixed feelings about The Gunslinger. I don't know if you've read any of the Dark Tower books, but so far, this is awesome. I really like this book. It's so different. But there are some things that are mentioned here that I think I've already forgotten from The Gunslinger. So there's like names that I recognize, but I can't remember who they were. So I'm like, should I keep going or should I go back and like look it up online? And I've been reluctant to look things up because I don't want to be spoiled on accident. So I might just keep going and see what happens. But I really like it. And now I'm upset that I started this at 9 o'clock because I'm going to be up. Let's see. So JB started the Twilight audiobook. So I guess you're reading that just because, or is it because Raul just read it? I know that is one of Daniel's favorite books. So are you guys reading it for him?
What's Twilight?
So Twilight is the first book in a trilogy about a human girl who falls in love with a vampire boy. And there's a lot of drama. It was made into movies.
Like Twilight. From like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Ashley read 3 pages. Oh no, she's fallen asleep. She took her medicine. That's what you get. I posted the sneak peek. I have to go check it out.
Same.
You mean the ghost track? No, he's the Twilight video. No, the Twilight video. Daniel only got 1 page read. So you guys just wanted me to be on video for you not to read? Really? JB says that he's reading Twilight because Raul and Daniel bullied him. Yeah, I'm curious what the audiobook is like because I don't think I ever read or ever listened to it. I don't even know who narrates it. When I read it, I was in my early 20s, so I was still in college.
Yeah, I was like 18, 19.
Yeah, and I liked it, but I'm thinking I didn't really have a whole lot of reading experience because now going back, I liked the story, but the writing was really bad. But I like the story because it's nostalgia, I guess. But it's like, why was this so popular? Reading it's very cringe.
Maybe it's because we were all cringe at that age. Our like teen angst that was just like prolonged and then just carried over into our early adult years.
Yes. Raul, I'm not actually part of the read along. Oh, I just read the book for content. Okay, so JB, you can't blame him. So I think Ashley is going a little crazy. Wait, when did Twilight first? Yeah, it came out. So the very first book came out in the early aughts, right? Because I know that I started reading when the last book was released, and that was like 2006 or something.
Same. So I would have been younger because I was like 19 when the first movie came out, or 18 when the first movie came out.
It came out in 2005.
That just means math to me, which no.
Oh my God, Daniel's so young. The first movie came out when he was 9.
Oof, I'm old.
I know, I feel really old. already past my bedtime. Yeah, it's getting there for me. So, but I don't think so. Kayla, I'm reading The Drawing of the Three, and it's good. And I'm afraid that I won't get much sleep tonight.
Your cover's really pretty too. My one's boring.
These are the new ones. They say a major motion picture at the bottom, which I'm like, can I cover that up? But yeah, I do like them, and they all match. I have the first three, but they all match, so it'll be nice to have a whole set that matches. Although I've been collecting the newer covers of Stephen King books, and they're all kind of very similar, so you could almost have all of them on your shelf, and they all kind of look the same. It's nice. I have never owned any of his books prior to the last few years. I've just never. I think either I read them on ebook or I borrowed them from the library. So now that I'm trying to catch up with some of the books that I haven't read, I've been buying them all in the same edition. So it looks nice.
That's awesome. I got all my Stephen King books from like a charity book fest thing, like last couple of months ago. So they're all over the place.
But I bet some of them are like the classic covers and stuff, which is really cool because you can't get most of them you can't get at all now. So that's something to think about. Yeah, I read the book when it first released and no one was talking about them until they started talking about the movie. Oh, she's talking about Twilight. That may have been when I started. No, I read it before the first movie came out because I definitely read it before 2008. But I know that all the books were out when I started reading them because I binged them like in one after another after another. So
I think I had to wait for the last one to come out.
Yeah. I also started reading Harry Potter like before that when the like 6th book came out, and so I like binged all the Harry Potters up to the 6th book because I think that's when they started talking about the movie. Whenever the movie came out was when I started reading Harry Potter, and they weren't all out, but most of them were, and I just sat and just read them, like, and I loved them. And I have not gone back to reread them because I'm afraid I won't like them, just like my Twilight experience.
Yeah, I haven't reread Twilight and I haven't reread Harry Potter either. And now I don't even think I will.
So Kayla's saying, I'm assuming she's talking about The Drawing of the Three because she's reading it, or she has read the whole series. And she was saying that I'll like the second book better than Gunslinger. And already, I mean, it just starts so, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Unless you've read them, you know. But for anybody else, just like Gunslinger kind of slowly moved you into the story, and sometimes it didn't move at all, quite literally. And this one is just bam.
Heaps of people told me like, oh, you don't need to read Gunslinger. And then like Brad Proctor was like, you need to read Gunslinger. Don't listen to them.
So we had this conversation when we were talking about the Gunslinger, and Steve had asked, having read the rest of the series, do you think it's okay? Or some people say it's okay to skip the Gunslinger, and they all unanimously said, no, you can't skip it. And I had, only having read the Gunslinger, I had actually told people, hey, if you want to start this readathon and you are behind, you just skip Gunslinger, read the summary, and you'll be fine. But I'm told, no, that's not a good idea. I didn't feel like I got much from it, but from those who have read it say that you'll understand Gunslinger more the further you get into it. So it's not, you'll miss some of that stuff if you don't read it first. So you just got to make it through. So I'm glad it was only like 250 pages, which,
yeah, it's quite small. I was really surprised when I picked it up.
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't like a slog to get through it. I just felt confused the whole way through. And there were some really interesting parts, and then you wouldn't get like everything. You'd like just get into being like, oh, here's some of Roland's backstory, and then it would cut out before you're like, what, wait. And so I felt this level of confusion and frustration. And so it made my enjoyment of it a little bit less than I was hoping for. But there was enough intrigue in the book for me to say, I cannot wait to start the next one. So it is, considering I think Stephen King wrote this when he was, very young. He does enough in that story to make you want to read an 8-book series. That's pretty talented.
Yeah.
What's Ashley talking about here? Read the fanfics though. Oh, for Twilight. I'm in the minority here, but I love the Gunslinger. You're not in the minority. There's actually quite a lot of people who really liked it. Just in our small group discussion, most of the people liked the Gunslinger. I think there was only a few of us who didn't, and so you're not really in the minority. I think it's just I went into it expecting it to be like Stephen King, and it's not like his writing at all. And so maybe I needed somebody to warn me a little bit more. It is just one long intro chapter, but it is an important one. Already I can tell you that in the drawing of the 3, there's things there that I'm like, oh wait, I know this was talked about in the last one, but I didn't have it memorized. So I don't remember. And so it is important.
Okay, so take notes. I will be taking notes when I read Gunslinger.
Take notes. Well, mainly it's the last part of the book that is really important. I think all of it is, but a lot of it, so I've been told a lot of it is kind of foreshadowing for the rest of the books. But the main part of it that's going to kind of draw you into the next book is the very end. And I didn't pay as much attention in the end because I think I'd reached this point where I was just like, okay, I'm almost done. I just need to get through it. And so now things are coming up and I was like, is that what happened? I don't remember that happening. And it's like that. It's like, did I just glaze over that part of it? And so now I'm thinking I need to go back and read those last, 25 pages and make sure I really understood what happened, because I think I missed something. But the drawing of the 3 is one of my favorite. I've heard lots of people say that the second book is their favorite. But let me ask you this, JB. Does that mean that the rest of them got to go downhill from there, in your opinion? Or is it just your favorite of all of them? I'm curious. Is it, kind of like Wheel of Time? People say, oh, the 3rd book is their favorite. Well, does that mean, the rest are really good, but the 3rd one is just a little bit better? But they're like, no, because by the 4th book, it starts going downhill. Like, okay. If you don't like by the 3rd book, I'm told, Wheel of Time, you won't like any of them.
That's another one that's on my TBR eventually.
What is it, 13 books in that one?
14.
Jeez. You should try the audiobook of it. It's good. Daniel, are you talking about the drawing of the 3? Because I am actually listening to it while I read, and it is good. So you, Lana, you said you have read The Gunslinger, or you're in the middle of it, or you plan on reading it?
I plan on reading it. I don't know when. But I have it. And I have the 1st book of the Wheel of Time one too. But June is I want to read June before those ones. June's higher up on the priority list.
Yeah. Are you going to watch the show before, or are you going to read the books first?
I have to read the book first. Otherwise, I won't read it.
Yeah. I did like the Wheel of Time. I'm sorry. The Eye of the World. And I struggled through the 2nd book, not because it was bad, but because I read it right after the 1st one. And I think if I had given myself a break, it was just too much of the same characters. I just kind of, you'll understand when you read it. Robert Jordan really immerses you in the story. And so you get to a point, unfortunately, with his characters, you're like, you know what? I just need a break from you guys. Mm-hmm. Just because you get so much of them. And, but it's a good story. I think you'll like it. I'm really excited to see the TV show and see where they go, but I'm afraid of how much is going to happen in the first season. Like, do I need to read more than just the first book? Because I don't want to be spoiled for the second book, which I haven't finished. So
You'd hope not, because it's pretty chunky.
yeah. I think you'll like it's very action. There are some, I will say that the pacing sometimes could be a little slow. There's like a few places where it's slow, but for the most part, it's nonstop. Stuff is happening. And it's really interesting world. He is incredible about world building. Um, and I mean, just from the first book, there's so much you learn about the world that they're in. And it's really, I mean, there's a reason why there's such a huge fan base for those books. They're not terrible books. I just think sometimes they're not everybody's cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
But I think even if you don't like it, you can respect what he's done there.
Yeah. Cool. I'm excited to read it. I'll probably read it in January. To be honest.
I don't want to hear Pennywise giggle. I must have missed something here. Oh, are you talking about the audiobooks, Ashley? Yeah, we're talking about Guns. Well, the second book of Gunslinger, the Dark Tower. I actually listened to the audiobook for it. It was not that bad.
Whenever I think of audiobook and it, I just think of Andrew from Get Right On It. And yeah, and like him doing the hiya Georgie, and then like the giggle. That's all I think now. Like even when I watch the movie, I'm just like.
Andrew, it's funny you say that, because I do think that the narrator watched the original movie, because when he does Pennywise, he sounds just like the Pennywise from the movie. Like, he does a really good job of making you know who he is, even if you've never seen it movie. I mean, the character is so iconic that as soon as you hear, you're like, oh, well, I know who this is. Like, don't go over there, Georgie. Don't do it.
I never watched the original.
Oh, it's so good.
I was just way too scared.
I think the newer ones are scarier, but they don't follow the book as well. It mainly is just a bunch of jump scares to freak you out, but it is not as much of a story. Whereas the original is more about the story, in my opinion.
Because who's the dude that played Pennywise in the original?
You're gonna get me lying. It's the same guy that did the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I just don't know why.
Is it Tim Curry or something?
Yes, Tim Curry. Yes.
Yeah, he scared the crap out of me when I was younger. I don't know why. And then put him in a clown mask, which also scares the crap out of me. No.
It's because he looks like a clown. So in the new ones, the Pennywise looks freaky, right? So he looks like a scary clown. Whereas the Pennywise from the original, he looks like a normal clown until he starts doing freaky, scary shit. So you're not expecting it. And so I think it just leaves this like sense of dread and terror when you see this normal looking clown. Yeah, that's what scared me, because I think when I watched it for the first time, I had no idea what I was watching. And so you're freaked out because there's this clown in the gutter. Like, why is he there? But he looks normal until he grows these big old teeth, and you're like, ah!
Yeah. And the only reason I watched the new one, is because Bill Skarsgård's in it. Is it Bill? One of the Skarsgårds in it.
I will say he does a really good Pennywise, but it's just different because maybe it's because now I know he's the bad guy. Maybe that's why. But I just think that the depiction, the way that they made his face, he looks creepy. Like a creepy, scary, I'm going to eat you clown.
And the mouth that he did, I remember seeing an interview, and like the mouth thing that he did, he's been doing that since he was a kid.
Really? That's just natural.
That was a thing. That was a thing that that was like a face he used to pull to his brothers. And then when he got the script, they're like, you should do that face. And so he did the face.
How cool! I did not know that. Now I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to go watch some videos of him and see the face again.
Yeah, I
know
went
that
through like a
Ashley.
time where I was just like all about him.
I know that Ashley's a big fan of the new Pennywise. So I was gonna say something else about it. I can't remember now. They were talking about so Steve Weber, I guess, does the narration. JB, I don't remember who it was. I just remember it was so good, and it was my second time actually reading it. So I read it when I was probably, I don't know, a younger teenager, something I should not have been reading. And then as an adult, I listened to it, and I really liked the narration. But I'm really bad about remembering narrators' names.
Same.
So, how many books are you reading in September? How many books am I reading, or how many books am I going to try to read in September? So, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 books that are just buddy reads. And I do want to read some other stuff in the middle there, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. So,
what are they? Have you posted your
I'm rereading The Sword of Kaigen. Yes, I know. I finally got people to read it with me. So we're doing the live show for this on October 3rd. And my husband is reading it too. So I'm just really excited about that.
I will be watching that one if it's not at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I'll have to check and find out what time it is. It's hard with Australia time because you're like literally when it's daytime here, it's nighttime where you're at. I'm also rereading Dune this month, like I said earlier. My husband and I watched the original movie, the 1985 movie, a couple nights ago. And I was like, I'm so excited to reread that book because I forgot how much I really liked it. And then I'm reading the second book in the Ashen Sands. This is the buddy read with Steve Talks About Books and Stuff and his wife, Brandy. I just finished Kings of Paradise last week. It was 5 stars. It was so good. I can't wait to get into this one. And we have the live show for Kings of Paradise Sunday, actually. I'm hosting that.
I think I already have the reminder set for that one.
Oh, it's going to be... Have you read it?
No, I was supposed to do the buddy read, and then everyone got sick, and I haven't read anything that I said that I would. I was like...
Well, we'll start out with no spoilers, so you can at least jump on for the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And then this is the September book of the month for Steve Talks About Books and Stuff. And this is a sci-fi. It's the only Dune, I guess, is a sci-fi. And I've had this on my TBR since April. I can't remember. Leslie read it and she loved it, and so I wanted to read it ever since then. I don't even know what it's about.
It's like a space opera-y thing. I've just heard amazing things, and I want to read it so bad. I was supposed to read it in July for the India courts, and it ran out of months. And then I've decided that I want to read a physical copy because it's so pretty.
It is a pretty book.
I think it's $43 here to buy paperback.
Are you serious? Even though it's like a print when you buy it kind of thing.
Yeah, print on demand.
You guys printing on gold leaf paper over there or something?
Who knows? And it's not like it's coming from America either, because we finally have Amazon finally has a printer here. So it's not, I don't know what it is, but it's $43. So yeah, and James just put me on a book buying ban. So I'm going to have to make a bet with him or something and make him buy me that book.
It's hard to justify that when you can get it on ebook though. And
I have it on ebook. Yeah. I bought the ebook, but I want to read it.
I know.
And it would look so pretty on my shelf.
What was that?
And it would look so pretty on my shelf.
Yes. I mean, how many purple books do you get?
I know.
The last book I'm trying to read is this one, For the Wolf. This one is, so we do me and Ashley, Brandy, and Yolene from Yolene Reads do a 24-hour readathon every month. And we try to read a fantasy romance. Although this last month, the book I chose wasn't a romance at all. It was an urban fantasy. It wasn't even a very good one. But we're all going through it. It's like, when is the romance supposed to start? It's like 350 pages, end of the book. It's like, there's no romance. Oh, well. I just don't know the date that we're having this, but we were supposed to read this as part of that 24-hour readathon. So I'm excited about that one too. But I've got a lot, but every single one of these books are books that I cannot wait to read. So that helps. There's nothing on here that's like a second book of a series that I didn't like the first book. Although it's funny I say that when I'm reading this right here. But so I'm not ignoring you guys. So I think I'm gonna read 365 days at one point. Are you serious? I can't do that. I have my days where I just cannot read. I just need a non-reading day.
I could. I just can't.
What readathons are you in, Ashley? I know you're doing the 24-hour one, but what's the other one that you're doing? I'm happy to finish one book. Well, JB, you're writing, so you get to do that. We'll forgive you for not reading as much because we really need that second unplugged book. Hi, Lola. Afternoon. She must be where you're at, Lana. It's afternoon for her.
In the southern hemisphere.
It's not fair. Those 24-hour reads are the best, Raul, but I don't think that you've actually joined us in any of them. Oh, okay. I'll join you for the next book. Sorry.
I'll join you guys when I can find a book. Yeah.
Do you not have this one available?
I can try get it from the library, but most of the fairly new ones.
It is a new release, which might make it a little bit harder to find. But I'll let you know what the dates are going to be for that as soon as we get it coordinated. A lot of print. Okay, demand in Australia is expensive. I wonder why that is. That's disappointing because I'll be honest with you. Like I have some where the covers are really beautiful, but the formatting inside it's all. Some of them are where it's printed all the way to the spine, so you have to almost break the spine to read it, or it's like the font is like a not pretty font. I'm very picky about my fonts, and it's like why would you pick that font? But so it's like, why would they cost so much there? I'm sorry.
And because when I buy books, usually I just buy I try to buy indie, and then because you can just get traditionally published for $15 at Big W or something. So when I'm on Amazon or something, I try and buy just indie. But it's a lot of the times it's still so freaking expensive. My dream would be to have an indie bookstore for indie fantasy and horror and thriller. That would be my dream job.
That would be a lot of fun. I have a local bookstore here, and they have a shelf for local authors. And I want to one day just be like, hey, maybe extend this out to other indie authors, because everything on there is horror, which I'm not complaining about. But it's I know some really great fantasy books, but they're not from where I'm at. Can we expand
here? I have a list.
I'll give you the copy. I have extra copies. I'll give them to you, except for my Sword of Kaigen. You can't have that.
But I feel like so many people in Australia miss out on so many good books because they're not accessible. So unless you're in this community actively, you don't know about any of them. because I didn't.
Well, I wouldn't have known about any of these books if it weren't for BookTube. Because honestly, if it's not at the Barnes and Noble, I'm not aware of it. And if it's one of those, so you see these books on Kindle for $2, and you're like, is that a real book? Because if it's gonna suck, $2 is still $2.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to. I have to say the Kindle Unlimited is one of the best investments I've made, because it allows you to try things. If you don't like it, it's not a big deal, because you've got the membership. And I probably at least read one good book a month from Kindle Unlimited, so it's worth it.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's see so Daniel says to read Dark Lover by J.R. I have not read that. I'm assuming it's steamy with the title called Dark Lover. Is it a paranormal romance?
I'm pretty sure J.R. Ward does paranormal.
That's the name of the book. 354 Days is an erotica. I've never
54 days or what?
I've never read an erotica. I don't know if that's something I want to. I don't know. I've never done it, so I can't say I wouldn't like it, but that's okay. That's okay. You know what? It would be so funny if she was on screen right now. I
think whenever Ash is on screen, I'm just like in front of my phone, just crying.
Are you talking, Raoul? Are you talking about the Kings of Ash? That is the next one in the Ash and Sand. That book was so good. Ice Planet Barbarians. Okay.
I've read that. It's actually way better than I thought it would be.
Really? Okay.
Like, it wasn't amazing, but it was a very good. It was a fun read.
So we're reading Shining in October, which is not obviously a romance at all. But because it's October, we're going to read The Shining. So November, we're going to read Planet Barbarians. Ashley, you have decided. My goal is to have my future fantasy novel chosen for your 24. Okay, Jamie. I start it next. Awesome. You gotta put some romance in there. Shadow of the Dead. I don't know that one. Shadow of a Dead God. Is that
sounds familiar.
Oh wait, that's this month. August's pick. I did see that. I wasn't planning to read it because I had a bad August. But I'll look at it. If your discussion's not until the 20th, I might have time. I don't know. I'm looking at this pile going, maybe I shouldn't make any commitments. We'll see. Anybody else who wants to read it, go check out Raoul. Raoul has a Discord for his book club. So all the information is on his Discord. Okay, Dark Lover is apparent. Okay. Ooh, vampires. I like vampires. There is a paranormal romance that I really liked by Laurel K. Hamilton. I think it's Hamilton. Where the main character's name's Anita Blake, and she's a vampire hunter. And there's a lot of steam that goes on with her and another vampire. Or not another vampire, but a vampire. And her job is to, well, she doesn't like go around and just kill any vampire. She only kills the vampires that are step out of line. But it's good. So I am curious if Dark Lover is good too.
I've heard good things about J.R. Ward.
I just watched Suicide Squad yesterday, so I know now what she must look like. That movie was different. I don't know if you've seen it, Lana, but my goodness.
I haven't. I want to. I have to. I'm obligated.
Well, it's not terrible. It was just wasn't what I expected. It was kind of like the first Deadpool movie where you didn't really know what you're getting into. That it's like that. It's like you don't know if you should laugh or be uncomfortable. Elf and human. Oh, okay. JB's gonna put an elf and a human. Ooh, I'm looking forward to that. Noon discussion is second week of October. Perfect. I might. Wow. Then I might be able to sneak that other book in there. All. Thank you. I'm enjoying the heck out of that one. Which one? Dune? Oh, the what was it called again? Shadow of the God? Dead God? Shadow of a
Shadow
Dead
of
God.
a Dead God.
I'm gonna have to go look that one up. I don't even know what it's about.
It's on my TBR, I know that much.
So many good books, honestly, in so little time. And I don't even say that ironically. Like literally, I probably have a TBR right now that the way that it grows and the number of books that I read, I will not be able to read all the books I want to read before I, get out of here. Move on, as Stephen King likes to say in this book.
Yeah. I think I figured out that I would have had to retire 2 years ago. To read them all.
My sister loves those books. Okay, it's so funny that Daniel says this because I was going to caveat and say books 1 through 5 are good and then it gets weird. And I couldn't read after that. I thought it was just me, so I wasn't going to say anything. But they're weird. They just go in like this very, very weird direction. I can't even explain it. It's just like we were talking one time about, I don't know if you weren't at our last reading sprint, Lana. We were talking about dinosaur erotica. There is a such thing. I found this out. It's not that bad, but it's not much better. So it was so funny because for our 24-hour readathon, I told the girls, bring a title, like a weird title to a book, and then you have to tell us what the book is about. And I had something innocuous. It was like The Cowboy Who Loved Dancing Cats. And it turned out that Dancing Cats was the name of an Indian girl. So it wasn't even that big a deal, right? Well, then Brandy comes with, Taken by the Pterodactyl, and it's a dinosaur erotica about a human girl who is kidnapped by a pterodactyl and then used for carnal pleasure.
What?
I didn't know it was such a thing, but it is.
Wow.
And then there's a whole series. There's like one with a T-Rex.
How would the T-Rex go?
I don't know. I think we were all wondering, and then we were like, never mind, I don't want to know. Yeah, that's what my sister said, like some weird, yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I'm reading it. I liked the first 5, so I'm reading it, and then I'm like, what? Let me go back. Did I miss something? Is this a dream? Is there something weird going on here? Yeah, just, and I don't know I heard from several people that it does, like she finally comes back to the old style of the story. Like, I guess some people were like, hey, I'm a big fan, but you're just like crazy. And that her newer books in that series are better, but I was just kind of put off by it. Oh, here, T-Rex went extinct because they couldn't teach those. Okay, good night, JB. Oh my god, you guys are all crazy. I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff in here. I'm sorry if I missed your comments, but you guys are nuts. Oh no, you can't hear my pterodactyl. Oh, that's right. She did a very good pterodactyl for us in the live stream. Okay, this is going in a bad. You guys are going in the wrong direction. Okay, well, for me, it is that time of the night where I'm going to have to log off. And although I'm loving this, and we barely really read anything because I'm a terrible reading sprint host, but I had a blast with all you guys in the comments. I had a blast with you, Lana. Thank you for joining me on screen. And I
Thank you
hope
for having me. It was so fun.
it's a Saturday for you, right? It's already Saturday for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and you keep enjoying the book you're reading, The Crown of Feathers, and let us know what you think. I'll be looking on your channel for your review of that book because I'm really excited for that one as well. So you guys who are actually still at your Friday night, you guys enjoy your night, get a good night's sleep, and I hope to see you again. I'll see some of you on Sunday at our Kings of Paradise discussion. So until then, goodbye.
Bye.